Hello, this is Josiah with Cody Sperber's office, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the MLS hacks that we use in our business every day to create more motivated seller leads, more cash buyer leads, and just overall do more deals. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is log into my MLS account. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. If you are using a different MLS, that is not a problem. Basically what we find is that the functionality throughout is the same. It's just the aesthetics that are a little bit different. So if you do need to, if you can't find a link or something in particular that we're using, go ahead and reach out to your help desk and say, hey, I'm looking for this. I was following a particular tutorial, and they should be able to point you in the right direction. All right, so the first thing we want to do is show you our MLS hack for finding cash buyers. Underneath the search tab, go ahead and click on map search. All right, so now it gives me a couple different options here. So I'm going to pretend like I'm finding a cash buyer for a 1,200 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single-family residence. All right, so for that, I'm going to go ahead and use the residential selection here. If I were looking for land or lot, a cash buyer for land or a lot, I'd go ahead and click this one. For commercial or industrial, I'd click this one, or for multiple dwellings, I'd click this one. But since we're looking for a single-family residence, I'm going to go ahead and select residential and click use. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to find our property on the map over here. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll in. And let's say our property is right here in this square mile. Then I'm going to select take our little grabber tool, select that area, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a 5-mile radius. I think that's pretty close. Alright, a little over 5 miles, no problem. And I'll zoom out a little bit so it's easier to see. Okay, perfect. So now what I just did was basically tell the MLS that I only want to find listings that were in this particular area. So basically narrowing my search. I want to make sure that the buyer has actually purchased close to our property and is kind of looking in the same area. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to specify that I'm only looking for closed sales. So these are properties that have already been purchased. So I'm going to go ahead and select closed. And I also want them to have been purchased in the past 3 months. So I'm going to click on See All and select Date Ranges. And then underneath Close of Escrow Date, I'm going to go ahead and make this from today and then back 3 months. So let me see here. Right now it's set to 6 months. So I'm going to make this March of 2014 and select the 18th. And then it takes me, yep, awesome. And then we have today's date, which is June 18th. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to scroll down, and now it gives you a lot of different options for different criteria that you can customize. So depending on how specific you want to get, you can really get pretty deep with these different criteria. So for instance, let's say that we're trying to sell, like we said, a single-family residence. So I'll go ahead and click on dwelling type, and I'm going to select only single-family residences. Because if they've purchased an apartment or a condo or a mobile home in this area, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be interested in a single-family residence. And vice versa. If I had a condo, I'd probably only select people that are purchasing condos in the area. All right, now if I scroll down a little bit, I can also add in, we said it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So I can go ahead and add in 3 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms to 2 bathrooms. And underneath approximate square footage, I can also add, let's say, maybe from 900 square feet to 1,600 square feet. So now we know that all the results that the MLS is pulling have been sales that have happened in the past 3 months that are single-family residences with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and between 900 and 1,600 square feet, right? So pretty close to what our subject property looks like, or the property that we're trying to sell. So since these people were interested in purchasing basically the same property within the same area, there's a decent chance they're going to be interested in purchasing our property, right? Awesome. So there's one key criteria that we're missing, and one that a lot of people don't actually know how to search for because it's a little bit tricky. If we scroll down to the bottom here, and then underneath add a field to the search, we type in sold, and then underneath sold info, we click on loan type. We can actually select that the purchaser of the property paid cash. So when we do that, it's going to take out everybody that maybe got financing, FHA, VA financing, paid with conventional, did a seller carryback. It's going to pull all of those out. So now we really are looking at only cash buyers that have purchased in this area with the same criteria or purchase the same type of property as our subject property. So we're getting pretty close to the people that the good leads that we want to talk to that are going to be decently interested in making an offer on our property or looking at our property. So now the next step is, how are we going to get in contact with these people? All right, so go ahead and click on View Results. And now the listings are going to go ahead and populate in this list. Let's go ahead and click on the first one. All right, then if we go ahead and scroll down here underneath pricing and sale information, you'll see here that the loan type was indeed cash. And then let's go ahead and head back up and let's click on the More tab and then Tax Information. And now our MLS is really nice in that it connects directly to the tax assessor's website and pulls information from there. Not everybody's MLS does that. Not the biggest deal. If you go to Google and you type in your city or your county name followed by assessor, it'll actually pull up the assessor's website and you can get the exact same information from there. All right, so what we're going to be looking at is basically three different things. One is our property address, right, which is the property that they purchased. The current owner, which is the person that purchased the property. So Joseph was the one that purchased this property for cash. And then his taxable mailing address, which is where Joseph actually lives. So we can see that this was likely an investment property because the tax mailing address is different than the property address. So if the property address and the taxable mailing address are the same, probably means that he purchased the property with cash and then moved in, right? So likely not an investor, or if he is an investor, probably a smaller investor that's not looking quite yet to purchase another property for cash. So it looks like it's a pretty good lead. So what we would do is kind of two things. One is we can send a mailer to Joseph, right? Basically, we would address it to Joseph, send it to this taxable mailing address, and we would want to mention this property. So we'd say, hey, Joseph, we saw that you purchased that property at 2531 North 25th Place. I happen to have another property that's right there in the neighborhood that is basically the same type of property. I just wanted to reach out to you. I actually have a big discount on it right now. I'm looking to get it moved quickly. I wanted to see if it's something that you'd be interested in. And trust me, we get a huge response from postcards like that because what we're doing is we're providing value, right? A lot of times what wholesalers do is they'll reach out and they'll say, hey, I'm trying to build my cash buyers list. It's all, it's where it's all about them. I'm trying to build my cash buyers list. I'm curious what you're interested in. Can you give me a lot of information, right? And so they're thinking, I don't want to, spend my time to give you all this information. You're not giving me anything back. Where in this case, we're saying, hey, we have an opportunity for you. So it's kind of a little bit more of a give and take. We give them something. In return, they tell us, exactly what they're looking for. They also see that we're legitimate wholesalers. We have a property that we're looking to move, and we likely will have more in the future. All good things. All right, so you can basically do that for this whole list. The second option you can do to contact them or connect with them is this cool little white pages button here. Now, obviously, not everybody's tax system is going to connect you directly to the white pages, and you definitely have to be careful if they're on the do not call list. But kind of another little ninja step that you can do is look up the person, maybe even in your standard phone book, is look up the person's information and actually just give them a call and basically say exactly what we would say on the postcard is, hey, I might have an opportunity for you that you're interested in, saw that you purchased this particular property. So all pretty easy stuff to do. Now, a lot of times when you pull a radius, this time we kind of lucked out. We only had 27 cash buyers, which is a pretty solid number because out of 27 cash buyers, I mean, are you likely going to find a buyer that's interested in your property if it's the exact same type of property? Yes, right? So we kind of lucked out. 27 is a good number. It's not too crazy an amount to mail and actually go through manually yourself and pull all the information. Sometimes we pull in a little bit hotter areas of town and whatnot, and it's over 200, and it's where it's like, all right, it's really going to take me some time to come in, pull this information, put it into maybe a spreadsheet that I can then mail. So another option you have is basically every MLS has the ability to email listings. So what you can do is actually, like for instance, I'll demonstrate it here, is I can select this, click the email tab, and it will give me the option just to email out this list. So if I wanted to email this list to our virtual assistant, I can shoot it over to him, obviously maybe send this video to him so he knows what he's doing, and even potentially the login information to my MLS if needed, and he can go through and pull all that information, maybe drop it in a Google spreadsheet for me, that then I can then turn over to our mailing company, and our mailing company can mail out to them for us. All right, and then last but not least, If you're in a situation where maybe you need to sell something right away, you don't have time to send them a mailer, or they're on the do not call list or something along those lines, what you can always do is go back over to the listing, or have your agent hop back over to the listing, listing report here, scroll down to the bottom, and you will see the selling agent's information. So now this is a little bit tricky because you're going to end up having to pay a selling agent's commission. A lot of times investors will represent themselves. So a lot of times, let's say Patrick is, or for this instance, Patrick is the selling agent. There's a decent amount of times when Patrick is actually the buyer as well, or representing the LLC that purchased. So a lot of times it actually works out really well and you don't end up paying a commission. But if you do need to get into contact with some people right away and get an idea of what the property's worth, you can always go through these listings and just call the selling agent directly. Say, hey, I saw that your client purchased this property at this address. Would he be interested in purchasing another one? Okay, so that pretty much sums up how we find cash buyers. So we have a couple different options. We have mailing, we have reaching out to them via the white pages, and then we have reaching out to their agents, right? After we've specified the different criteria, so that we're looking at cash buyers that are most likely going to be interested in the same type of property that we have for sale. So now we're going to look at the next MLS hack, which is finding motivated sellers. All right, so again, we want to go over to the search tab and click on map search. And then I'm going to use residential again. Go ahead and click use. And this time from the map, we want to select our entire work area. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of roughly select it here. I'll probably just do a circle and grab a broad area. So do all of Phoenix here. All right, now this time, instead of looking for closed properties, we're looking for actives or under contracts, but accepting backups. And now again, depending on how specific you want to be, if you're only looking for a particular type of property, let's say we're only looking for single family, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, we can put that in. If we're only looking for a particular square footage, we can put that in as well. We can basically make it as specific as we like. So I'm going to go ahead and put, let's do, single family homes. I'm going to say I'm looking for, let's say we're looking for 2 bedrooms, 1 bathrooms. Maybe something we can add on to. And let's do anywhere from 500 square feet, which is super small, up to 1,400 square feet. So something we can add on to, or maybe add a bathroom to, or something along those lines. So now I'm going to scroll down, and this is kind of where the magic happens again, a little trick. We're adding a custom field, and actually you'll see the first one that we want to add is right here, is semi-private remarks. And then we have 2 more. We want to add public remarks. Go ahead and add that in, and then also private remarks. Just want to scroll down a bit. It's right here. Okay, perfect. So now, for those of you who don't know, basically the remarks section is a section on the actual listing. So the remarks are something that the listing agent fills out. And there's basically 3 different sections of remarks. So there's semi-private remarks, there's public remarks, and then there's private remarks. So private remarks are just going to be seen by other agents. Public remarks are going to be seen by everybody, and semi-private remarks can be seen by agents and technically shared with the clients of the agents. So this might be something like title company. This would be more like how to make an offer. And this would be like, the house looks gorgeous, beautiful chandelier in the front room. So now most people use this for particular things like trying to find, okay, you want vaulted ceilings, or you want, this particular aspect of a home, or you want a, gorgeous pool or waterfall. So a lot of times agents will use these to find those. We use it a little bit differently. So Cody's actually compiled a list of different keywords to look for that basically help us identify motivated sellers. So words that agents type into their listings when their client is motivated. Now the first one we're actually going to demonstrate with here is pretty straightforward. We're actually going to type in motivated. We'll go ahead and do one at a time. I'll start with semi-private remarks. All right, so we got 0 results for motivated, so I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit broader of a search. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these bedroom, bathroom criteria. I'll search again and got 93 this time. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a quick peek at these, and then maybe we can go back in and add some of these as well to kind of slim it down. But really the main thing here is having a kind of being diligent, having a lot of keywords. This is also something that you might want to hire a VA for, is having a lot of keywords and looking through each one of these individually to find all of the different leads. And it might seem like a little bit of work at first, but trust me, it definitely pays off. All right, so I'm going to go underneath View Results. I'm going to take a quick peek at these. All right, let's go ahead and click on the first one here. I'll go ahead and shrink this. And then let's scroll down to semi-private remarks. All right, so let's see if there's something that we might be looking for. It says, house is lived in. Please contact listing agent for appointments, easy showings, motivated seller. Awesome, right? So that's a better lead than all other standard listings where it's, you know, offers firm or something along those lines, or where they don't say anything. So, and this is generally what we pull up when we search for motivated. Is we find a lot of agents that drop into the semi-private remarks. They'll drop in motivated seller. So this is somebody that might be willing to accept a little bit less. They have a little bit of a time crunch and might be willing to accept a little bit less than the offer price in a property that, you know, we'd be interested in making an offer on, because we can potentially get a decent deal and still have it be a win-win for everybody. So that's the first one. We can take a quick peek here, hop back over to the list. Let's take a quick peek at the second one, see if we get something similar. Go ahead and shrink that again. Scroll down. Very motivated seller. Agents send your offer. Buyer to verify HOA defect, blah, blah. So again, right, when we type in motivated, we get, okay, this person's really motivated, maybe has a time crunch. They want us to send in offers, something that we may potentially be able to get a discount from the listing price, and a big enough discount where we can actually maybe wholesale the property or make something on the back end. So this is a really strong tactic for finding motivated sellers, because the agents are blatantly saying, hey, you know, this person needs to sell so badly that they are willing to, you know, we're willing to say they're motivated, right? We're willing to say, hey, you know, kind of spill the candy here and say, hey, we need to sell, right? We need to sell quickly, so, you know, hey, throw anything at us that you can. This is a very easy way to find motivated sellers. The fancier, the more researched your keywords are, the better results that you get. And whereas a lot of agents are fighting with a ton of other competition, you know, with REOs, bank-owned, HUD home properties, you know, this is pretty straightforward. If you have a particular keyword that you find in your local area that agents tend to type in when their seller's motivated, it kind of changes throughout the U.S. in different areas. You can find very motivated sellers with really, really small amounts of competition. All right, so now I'm going to scroll back up here, go back over to Edit Search, and then I actually want to pull on some keywords that Cody has compiled just kind of over the years, different keywords that we use in our business and that have worked really well for us. So I'll go ahead and pull those on here. So you can see them here if you want to pause the video really quickly so you can write these down. But we have handyman special, fixer-upper, rehab needed, TLC, must sell, divorce, foundation repairs, you know, and obviously much, much more here. But yeah, these are basically the keywords that work the best for us. Like I said, we found that throughout the U.S. there's, you know, differences in different markets. So you can definitely hone in on maybe a specific keyword that works for your market that's used there where it's not used other places. You can kind of do a little bit of research, but this will definitely give you a very good start. And basically what we do with these results once we find them is we go through, talk to all of the agents, figure out exactly what the seller's motivation level is, and from there we make offers. If you do the math, we're making 93 offers to, you know, already qualified as motivated sellers. You know, there's a decent chance that we're going to get some of those, you know, accepted, which is, you know, exactly what happens. That pretty much sums up this MLS hack on how to find motivated sellers. So basically, to recap, what we'll do on the map search is pull our entire work area. Then we'll select from the criteria on the left here, we'll select active, under contract. Then we can specify with the other criteria, you know, what type of property we're looking for. And then down at the bottom here, we want to make sure that we add these three fields: semi-private remarks, public remarks, and private remarks. And then we can type in our keywords into those to find our motivated sellers. So from there, we want to reach out to the agents. You can find the agent's information. Let me go ahead and pull that up for you real quick here. Agent's information. If we go ahead and click on list, click on a report, scroll down to the bottom of the report. You're looking for the listing agent. And this is the co-listing agent. If you can't reach this one, you can always call the second one, or have your agent call them to figure out exactly what the motivated seller situation is, and figure out kind of how flexible they would be. And then finally, you want to make sure that you actually, you know, push forward and make offers on these properties. Okay, perfect. So that's it for this video. Again, this is Josiah Grimes with Cody Sperber's office. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys do tons of deals with these MLS hacks.